Did anybody step in and say, "Hey, man, you got to get your shit together"?
Oh, I've had a lot of people tell me I need to get my shit together.
And what was it about? Like, what besides that?
What do you mean?
Like, besides this one instance, what other things have people come to you and said, "Hey, John, you got to get your shit together"?
Well, kind of all of it. Everything that's happened over the last 2 years or whatnot makes people feel like they can tell me that I need to get my shit together. I recently went outside to my garbage man was coming up, and I was late getting one of the garbage out to the side of the road, so he waited for me, and he even told me, he was like, he was dumping my garbage, and he was like, "Hey man, like, I'm waiting to see you fight again. It's like, you really need to get it together." And I'm like, man, this dude's parked outside of my little mansion, pretty much telling me to get my shit together. Taking out like everybody feels like they have the right to tell me to get my shit together. Right. And at the end of the day, I sit there and I humbly take it because
they're right.
Yeah, they're right. But at the same time, how many motherfuckers there are in the world. You know what I mean? Like, so many people are into all types of crazy shit.
Yeah, but you can't compare yourself to the losers of the losers. I know what you're talking about.
You know what I mean?
You could say, hey, well, compared to dudes who like to go out and
who
fuck
knows?
goats, I'm fine.
Exactly. Who knows what weird shit this guy's in?
Right.
And he's telling me to get my shit together. It's like, just because my shit's publicly don't mean you're any better than I am.
That's true, but you know what? That conflict is never ending, and you can't get involved in it. Like that conflict that you're starting up in your own brain right now, it's a rationalization conflict. You start rationalizing your behavior versus, well, a lot of other people do worse. Well, that is a dead end. Well, that's a bad road that a lot of people go down to make themselves feel better.
Right.
The only thing that can make you feel better is to be pure or to be
actually
clean.
Get your shit together.
Yeah, because like if someone comes up to me and says, "Hey man, you've been ripping off old ladies and stealing money from the church," I'd be like, "What the fuck are you talking about? It doesn't make any sense. That's not true at all." Right. So if someone says something to you that's rude, that's not true, it doesn't have any impact on you.
Right.
But when someone says something to you that's rude but true, then you have to rationalize. Then you have to go, well, what about you, man? Well, what's going on with your life? Maybe you're into some dark shit,
Right.
That's a bad road. And it's a defensive road. And as a fighter, it's a natural instinct. Somebody hits you, you want to hit them back. You know? Somebody attacks you, you won't, well, what about your weaknesses? And you want to try to search them out. And I'm sure a lot of people go through that when they read social media and they see these anonymous eggs on Twitter saying mean shit to you.
Right.
You start thinking, I want to know who this fucking guy is and what's going on in his fucking life. That is a trap, man. That's a trap.
Well, like I said, I do respectfully take it. Like, I've never had someone say, "Hey, get it together, John," and then I sit there and be like, "Oh, what?" I always, thank you so much for caring. Thank you so much for, rooting for me still, and I really appreciate it, and I'm working at it, and I seriously have been working on my personal life tremendously, and as of right now, I feel amazing. I feel better now today than I did when I was beating everybody's ass and sponsored by the world, and like I literally feel better today because I feel like I've conquered a lot of demons in my personal life. Mainly.
So you feel better, meaning you feel more at peace? You feel more calm?
More at peace, like not worried about social media all the time. Like that has brought a lot of peace to me. Not worried about what people are saying. Not even worrying about what's going on in the UFC, like who has the belt or just being Jonathan Jones and having my group of friends across the country who genuinely love me. Focusing on my kids every day. Taking my girls to cheerleading practice, picking them up from school, dropping them off at school. Basic stuff, like me and my fiance,
just living life.
Being on top of stuff. Yeah, being on top of stuff. I'm in no debts. Everything's caught up. Everything's spot on. Things I wanted to get fixed around the house. That paint chip is painted now. Everything's just everything's so put together right now in my life. Outside of sports, and obviously having the clear mind, something that I haven't had in a long time. I just feel really good right now. So as far as and then also being in a position where I don't really need to fight again either. You know what I mean?
Financially, you mean?
Financially,
but don't you though in your mind?
Oh yeah, I have to fight because have to fight because the story can't end like this.
Yeah, well, it's like the financial thing is beautiful and everything like that. It's wonderful that you're set for life and you can just kick back and your children will be taken care of and your wife will be taken care of. That's all beautiful. But you have a responsibility of greatness.
Yeah.
There's very few people that ever get to the position that you not just were in when you won the title, when you were the youngest ever UFC heavyweight or light heavyweight champion. Not just that, the youngest ever UFC champion. Not just that. There's also a responsibility that comes with potential.
Right.
It's not just like what you've done, and it's what you could have done.
Right.
You fought Alexander Gustafsson. Be honest about that. How much did you train for that fight?
I trained for the fight, but I definitely I had this thing where I just felt invincible, and I did a lot of wild stuff leading up to the fight. I definitely didn't give it my all.
As far as partying and not sleeping right,
mainly
and
partying,
drinking,
drinking, staying up all night.
Yeah,